Captain Scott?
Hello, Scott. Good luck, old chap.
Captain Scott, sir.
Oh. Come in, Scott. Sorry you had to wait. I've been reading The Voyage of the Discovery again. Fine book, Scott.
Thank you, sir.
It's a gift a fellow'd be unwise to waste. Still, don't suppose these damned expeditions grow on trees, eh?
Indeed they don't, sir.
I'll be plain with you, Scott. I've studied all the evidence at my disposal, and I can't say things look at all good for you.
May I ask if...
Now, let me finish. You know perfectly well that the captain of a battleship in collision is technically responsible for that collision. It is no defense to claim that he was not on the bridge at the material time. particularly if the fleet is engaged, as it was, in delicate maneuvers that require the executive presence of the commanding officer. Repairs to the Commonwealth are estimated at between £4,000 and £6,000 to your own ship, the Albemarle, at about 800. So there can be no question of keeping the matter under covers. The only question is whether we can stave off a court-martial. I shall, of course, do everything in my power to see that a court-martial is not convened.
Thank you, sir.
And not to save your hide, Scott. It's my own I'm concerned about. Whatever the outcome, I must tell you that in my considered opinion, there is no career for you in battleships. Do you take my meaning?
Yes, sir.
Good. I think that's all for the present. Good night, Captain.
May we discuss this privately, sir?
Why?
With respect, sir, I would like to demand a court of inquiry be set up to examine my guilt or innocence in this matter.
Captain Scott, where were you at the moment of collision?
As you know, sir, I was in my cabin.
Doing what?
I was decoding a signal addressed from my rear admiral, sir.
Precisely so. While His Majesty's Atlantic Fleet carries out delicate maneuvers in heavy seas, the captain of one of my battleships chooses to deliver a birthday greeting to a senior officer, like any bellboy. Let that be known at your court of inquiry, you'll be lucky to come out of it with a commission, let alone a ship. Think it over. Take a few days' leave.
Excuse me, Mr. Nansen. What my readers would really like to know about are any future polar plans you might have.
Well, when I know them myself, your readers shall be the first to hear.
Oh, come now, sir. Perhaps you could tell us something about, well, the rumour that you propose an early attempt on the North Pole.
I can say nothing about rumours.
Gentlemen, Captain Amundsen will communicate his plans for future expeditions in the time honored way. That is to say, not before they've been formulated.
Gentlemen, last questions, if you would. I'd like to introduce Mr. Amundsen to our members before he makes his public address.
I'm sure we'd all like to know Mr. Amundsen's own view of his discovery of a seaway around the top of the world. Would you care to compare it with other polar feats? Dr. Nansen's, perhaps? Or Scott's work in the south?
Fridtjof Nansen's contribution to polar research is not to be measured by lesser men. He is the father of all modern exploration, north or south. Sverdrup, Borchgrevink, Charcot, Peary, Cook, Scott, myself, we are all, in a sense, his sons. We follow the master.
Yeah.
For myself, I claim nothing. There is a poem a Viking ancestor wrote 1,000 years ago I could recite you, but my English is lacking. Hold on.
Oh, yes. Well, in English, that should be something like, cattle die, kin die, thou thyself shalt die as well. One thing I know that never dies, judgment over the dead. Well, I think that should be all, gentlemen.
Excuse me, Dr. Nansen.
Beg pardon, sir. Sir Clements Markham presents his compliments. He'd be most grateful if you could spare him a moment in the Great Hall. Sir Clements is chair-bound again, sir.
Better see what the old devil wants, Kelty. Find out what madcap steam he's dreaming up now.
Excuse me, Mr. Amundsen.
Fisher, First Sea Lord. Honor to meet you. Liked your answers to those newspaper people. Very diplomatic.
Sir Clements, it's very good to see you. Lord Curzon will be delighted that you're well enough to be with us again. I hope you'll forgive me if I hurry back, but I do have our guest to attend to.
What's this about Shackleton, Kelty?
Shackleton?
I have it from an impeccable source that Shackleton is about to announce an attempt on the South Pole with the full backing of this society.
Sir Clements, Mr. Shackleton has our good wishes and nothing more.
So he is going, and you know about it. You've seen the plans. Am I right in thinking that he proposes using Scott's base down there? I see. Have you at least had the courtesy to inform Scott?
Mr. Shackleton laid his plans in confidence before the committee some months ago. I would no more dream of divulging Mr. Shackleton's plans than I would Captain Scott's.
Scott's plans are advanced and well known, and Scott has priority. The work down there is his if he wants it, everyone agrees.
If everyone agrees, I see no problem, Sir Clements. Excuse me, will you? I have important matters to deal with. My regards to Lady Markham.
Damn your eyes, Kelty! How can you support a black sheep like Shackleton, a man's a liar, a cheat, and a failure? Scott had to send him home last time. Have you forgotten? I'll get an inquiry into this, you see, and it'll take your hide off, Mr. Secretary, you.
Johansen, on the way to our furthest north. Saved my life.